also, quite frankly, making America great again made me physically sick, and I'm not joking. I actually have been in bed for the past, like last weekend I was pretty much out. Okay, back to the topic at hand. So much going on in the world, and there's so much I think about throughout the week that I would love to have some way of checking in with folks who feel the same way about the world that I do, and also who are doing really big things in their lives, whether those big things are raising your child or working on a book that's going to change the way that we think about this present moment. Or maybe the big thing that you're doing is just taking a beat, like resting because you've gone so hard. Excuse me. I actually got sick, okay? This was immediately after and right during the election. It was probably the combination of the anxiety of trying to figure out what the heck is going on, but then also, quite frankly, making America great again made me physically sick, and I'm not joking. I actually have been in bed for the past, like last weekend I was pretty much out. Okay, back to the topic at hand. Yeah, I think it's really powerful to be in community, to have ways of checking in, and also to reflect on what just happened most recently and where are we going moving forward. So this week, something that's been huge on my mind, both the history of it, but also it's in the water cooler. If you've been online, you've probably seen these really evocative and, to me, moving portraits, videos that flew into, like, just flooded us coming out of New Zealand. And I wanted to take a moment to look at that, to talk about it, but then also to consider, like, what is that powerful moment and what does it offer us? What are ways that we can take something forward for the week ahead?
Hey, welcome to Love on Stage. I'm Mahohodi. If you're ready to make sales and spark action when you speak, this is your place. I've helped dozens of leaders choose courage over comfort by speaking with confidence and love, especially in tough conversations. Because listen, public speaking isn't just a thing that you do on stage. It's what you do every time you deliver a work presentation, when you interview for that plump job you deserve, when you negotiate your salary, and every time you sweat bullets during a big pitch. That's all public speaking. It's time to level up your storytelling because your story matters. So, you ready to speak like a boss? Let's get into your most powerful story.
And I'm gonna try, I can't do a cute little thing and make the arrangement as I'm speaking, but maybe what I could do is give these lovely beauties some water as we're talking, because I don't know if you know this about me, I am obsessed with flowers. These peonies, by the way, are from Trader Joe's. They are such gorgeous beauties. I was pretty shocked that Trader Joe's has flowers in the middle of the winter. Not that they have flowers, sorry, but they have peonies in the middle of the winter. I'm like, wait, like peonies? Are we really doing this? But like, yeah, we're really doing it. And oh my God, I don't know if you can see this. I mean, like the level of intense beauty that is happening here. And the thing about Trader Joe's flowers is you get incredibly gorgeous bouquets for not that much money. All right, I'm gonna put this in, but then I also have to show you this one other really, really special flower, this bloom. I'll talk about this in a little bit, but let me get back to New Zealand. So the reason why that video was so remarkable, and if you haven't seen it, I'm talking about the video, what happened, here's what happened, okay, what happened was New Zealand has a big law on the books, like a bill that's come up in Parliament, and essentially the more conservative members of Parliament want to rewrite the rules for a treaty that was agreed upon like way back when between the British, because remember New Zealand is a former British colony, and the indigenous people who are Maori. Whoever came up with that brilliant idea has clearly never ever met a Maori human being, okay? Because let me tell you, the way that the Maori rose up, both in parliament and outside. The video that you see is Maori people like standing up in parliament and getting super activated. They did something called a haka. I first got to know a haka because I'm South African, and when we were playing New Zealand, right, rugby in 1994, which is a seminal, I mean, like Matt Damon did a whole movie about it, and Americans, I'm sorry, but unfortunately think it's like a Matt Damon moment. But when that happened, when this, when they do that haka against you and you're playing them on the field, yo, you legit, your whole body goes into like, oh my God. Like, we're probably gonna lose this match. Okay, we didn't lose the match because we're South African. But I'm just telling you, when they stood up in parliament and started doing the haka, it is so moving, it is so inspiring, and it is such a powerful call to not only action, but to power, right? It is an invitation into seeing what is possible when we use our voices to do hard things, when we use our voices to speak and to speak the truth, and especially when it's hard to speak that truth. And the thing that I think is so powerful, and what is maybe a lesson for all of us here, is what happens when the woman who leads the charge, the main parliamentarian, she tears up the bill very theatrically, right? And as she does it, she begins doing the haka. And all of these other Maori parliamentarians, and also people up in the there's a word for it, I forget, but like the audience members, they're not parliamentarians, but the general public, citizens, you see them rise up and join, and they start doing the haka, and the Speaker of Parliament, he just kind of, he's way in over his head, but I have chills just thinking about the imagery because it's so damn powerful. You cannot watch that and not be moved. You cannot watch that and not be swayed. You cannot watch that and not want to lean in and ask, what's happening over here? And then when you learn that it's tied to this historic treaty between the Maori people and the British, and that the Maori are like, oh, I don't think so. You're gonna stand by the truth of what you promised us, even though, let's talk about it, it's colonization, so let's not pretend there wasn't theft there. But let's just get to the point. The point is what happens when you do something that's difficult to do, and when you use your voice to speak powerfully. These are the lessons that I think are worth taking, and what I'm definitely taking from this. Number one, you never, ever, ever, ever look at these peonies. I mean, these are peonies too, but they're just a little bit darker. They're ridiculous. You never, ever, ever do anything difficult like that by yourself. You're never alone. You never, ever, ever. Even if it feels like you're the only one in the boardroom who's raising your voice. I'm gonna need to wrap this up pretty quick because baby is waking up. You need to stand on the truth of all those who came before you, your ancestors, who are speaking that truth both into you and through you to this audience. In this particular case, it's so powerful because we actually get to see an entire community rallying and standing with the woman who first instigated, she first tears apart the bill. But the lesson that I'm taking from that, and what I'm imprinting in my head for any time I have to stand in front of an audience and I'm really nervous, or maybe sometime this week I have some things that do make me nervous, like sometimes even getting in front of this camera and saying the thing that I have to say, like real talk, sometimes actually gets me nervous. Maybe you have a big presentation coming up this week at work. I don't know what it looks like for you, but you will be called upon sometime this week to speak. When that happens, encode it in your head that you are not alone. And think about this woman and think about what happens as an example of what's happening for you on a spiritual plane, on a plane that you cannot physically see, but that does not make it any less real. Your ancestors, when you stand up to speak like that and you speak truth and something that's difficult that has to be said, and sometimes not even something that's difficult, something that's just like, it makes you nervous, something that's just like, oh my goodness, I feel myself getting anxious. You need to stand in the power of everybody who is doing that Haka dance with you. You hear me? You feel me? And then another big and powerful takeaway that I took from that is, you know, we do live in a really Western society. And for me, as somebody who comes from South Africa, where so much of our culture has been taken over by colonization, by apartheid, by white supremacy, it's so powerful to remember that our ways of knowing and our ways of speaking, because the Haka is a very powerful way of indigenous people speaking and saying something, that those ways, they matter, and I can stand on the power of those ways. And again, when I go to the chills that I feel when I see that video, I'm taking that into this week forward, and I'm taking beyond this week. Like, the ways that my ancestors taught me how to be in a room, how to speak, how to look at other human beings, that stuff, that is power. And there's something to be taken there for communication skills for the 21st century, right? It's like, we often think about our ancestors and we think of like, oh my God, that's so far away, that's so long ago. But to the extent that you can remember that actually that playbook, it matters and it is modern, it is relevant to my life today, that can be a power move. I wanted to show you this as well. And it's so apropos that I show you this gorgeous beauty as we're talking about ancestors, because this is something that my own ancestors, this is a protea, this is something that my own ancestors in the Cape Town area of South Africa would have reveled in and loved and nurtured, and maybe even made a bouquet like I'm trying to make right now, right? Proteas are so unique because if you've ever been to Cape Town has one of the most incredible and unique biodiverse plants and animal life on earth. Like, there's plants and things that exist in Cape Town that don't exist anywhere else. And the proteas, which is South Africa's national flower, they're kind of like the queen and the crown of how spectacular the Cape Town landscape is. And it's important for me always to see this and to remember home, but then also to be connected to my ancestors, because don't let them tell you this, because they will try and tell you that Cape Town was unoccupied before white colonial settler history came through in 1652. And honey, let me tell you something, okay? Black people have been in Cape Town. We've been like that's ours. That's literally where my ancestors are from. So anyways, in wrapping up, one more thing I want to show you before I wrap up here. And I'm sorry, I'm not being very interactive because the camera is far away, because I wanted to be with my beauties and do my little Martha Stewart moment. I'm not sure how good I am at being Martha Stewart, but look at these gorgeous babies. So these are called thistle, and these also grow in South Africa. I don't know if they're originally from South Africa, the same way as proteas are, but you can always find these at Trader Joe's. If you're a plant person and you want to make your own arrangement, these are so yummy. Proteas are amazing, especially now that the holidays are coming in. I love to pair them with greens like these ones, and I also love to pair them with something that's like a pop of color, but these are probably my standby. Anytime they have these at Trader Joe's, your girl's definitely picking up a stem, and probably more than just one. Like, I think I have 2 or 3 bunches here. I literally spent my entire shopping money on flowers at Trader Joe's. And what is my point here? My point is these flowers make me really happy. I hope you enjoyed them as well. And the week is about to start. You have beautiful, amazing things, I'm sure, on your calendar. I have a client meeting this coming Wednesday that I need to prepare for, that I'm very excited about. But I honestly am also a little bit nervous about, just because I want to do well. And what I am definitely channeling in how I communicate and in how I stand in power. What I'm channeling is everything we've spoken about and everything that I learned from Maori people this week. Stand in your power. Never forget that you don't speak alone. You always, as Oprah famously said, I stand before you as one, but I come to you as one of multitudes. And I think she was actually quoting Dr. Maya Angelou. I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure she was quoting Dr. Maya Angelou. You're not doing these things alone, right? And part of not doing these things alone is having communities like this. I hope that this live has been useful. If so, please let me know if you'd like me to do another live like this next week on Sunday. If there's any specific thing that is heavy on your mind, drop me a comment. I always read comments. I always respond. Again, what a pleasure to be here with you. I am Mahohodi. These are my gorgeous, beautiful ladies and children. You have been so nice and so generous and patient with me, ladies. I'm about to attend these ladies and give them like a nice little, glow up. So maybe I'll even share the arrangements later on during the week. You can see that in the stories. Thanks for being here. Mwah! I'm gonna go see my baby now.
Was that useful? You want to go even deeper? I'd love to support you. My coaching program can help you make money and spark action whenever you speak with intention. Book time to chat using the link in the description box below. Also, leave a comment if this video offered something you needed to hear today, or if you have a question you want me to unpack in next week's episode. Fresh episodes drop every Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Hit subscribe to get a notification so you never miss a beat. Thank you so much for being here. I want you to know that your story matters. And I'm here to help you stand out from the stage to the page.